friends, welcome to another episode of Seeing Sentai. I'm Mars Girl. Today we're checking out Taiyou Sentai Sun Vulcan episodes 8 through 14. So how long has it been, right? It's been a little over half a year, yeah? Well, sorry about that, but I'm definitely back, hoping to blow through a whole bunch really fast and get right back on production schedule. Hopefully we'll be able to get this done. I know a lot of people were asking for this. I've been wanting to get back on this, but I'm finally done for the time being with a bunch of request reviews. Those were being paid for, so I wanted to get those out first as quickly as possible. But now we're back to talking about Super Sentai, and I couldn't be happier. I want to at least run down the list of some of the monsters that we saw over these last 7 episodes, and we've got things such as Visionmonger, Scorpionmonger, Spidermonger, Fern Longer, Diamondmonger, Ironmonger, and Armadillomonger. In episode 8, we had a touching episode where the commander of Sun Vulcan is taking his daughter out and about shopping, and he's just so glad that he has his daughter, just that he has that relationship with her at all. And when she gets captured, there's a heartbreaking moment of will he or won't he give himself up to save her life. And as it turns out, he is able to go in and save his own daughter, and there's a very large chunk of the episode that does not actually revolve around the 3 core members of Sun Vulcan. It actually focuses on the relationship between father and daughter. It's actually kind of sweet, despite all of the corny children's television show antics happening all around the rest of it. For example, he's got a little ball that reminds him of his daughter, of when she was a young child, and it turns out he takes this ball with him to go and sacrifice himself in place of her, and then he says, haha, it turns out that this ball is special, and it magnetically reflects bullets, haha! And then it's back to the Sentai team, Sun Vulcan, coming in to save the day in the end. One kind of messed up episode is the episode with Scorpionmonger. That's episode 9, where there's a scientist who swears he can turn seawater into gold and uranium, something that you never see done even once over the course of the entire episode, so I kind of have the feeling the Doctor never knew how to do it right, but the Doctor gets captured by black magma, and he's killed when he says, well, I don't have the schematics like in my head, it's on a microfilm. So they send out Scorpionmonger to go and get it, and when Scorpionmonger can't find the microfilm, then he goes after the scientist's wife and child, and then Sun Vulcan comes in and they're like, sorry dude, but the scientist did have it in his head all along and he died to protect it. And then at the end of the episode, nobody is sad that this scientist died. The son's not sad, the daughter's not sad, the rest of Sun Vulcan isn't like, oh, well, it's such a shame that we lost such a capable scientist. And no, everybody's running around playing with stuff. The members of Sun Vulcan are playing with the little boy, playing ball with him, and pushing him on a bicycle through sand all along the beach. And no, nobody's sad that the guy died. Thanks guys, your epilogue sucked. There's kind of a cute episode in there with Spidermonger in which Black Magma has set up a really strange and super overly detailed scheme to set up Vulpanther with a date with a girl who doesn't know any better. She just thinks she's on some computer matchup dating program in order to not only get a date but go and travel to Europe, and she ends up getting paired with Vulpanther, who really has no idea what's going on, but they figure out, you know what, I bet that this is all one big scheme by Black Magma. Maybe I better go on this date with her anyway just to see what's gonna happen. And they end up having a really good time. Their date goes really well until the girl gets kidnapped by Spidermonger, and then they have to rescue her, but she's probably pretty much got it figured out that Vulpanther is her boyfriend Yo, and it's kind of cute. She seems to really like him, and at the end of the episode, she's running away, skipping, and seems to have a lot of joy in her heart, and the narrator makes it sound like, well, she's really got a thing for him. And I'm just sitting here thinking, well, wouldn't that be great if they bring her back and they give Hyo somebody to be interested in? And that's just the thing. I know that they won't. I know they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna bring her back, and that's really disappointing because it was kind of cute. Give this character a relationship. It doesn't have to be super intimate or anything, but seeing somebody actually develop feelings and a relationship that means something over time and having them want to protect each other, that would be nice, but they're not going to go in that direction, and that's disappointing. One episode where they really did address loss really well, I felt, was the episode with Fern Longer, episode 11. A scientist, a botanist, I suppose, he had a daughter that passed away approximately a year ago due to an illness, and he just never got over it. But Black Magma promised they could bring her back, so they build a little robot daughter for him, and he's just absolutely thrilled, and so he agrees, okay, I'll make a poison for you, and so he does, and it turns out to be Fern Monger, and Fern Monger's out there planting all these ferns that poisons people, and the way these people are dying is just hilarious. The first little boy who touches this poisonous plant just touches it and then keels over like, ah! And the mother just freaks out immediately. Like, the mother does a good job of freaking out. The little boy just collapses way too overly dramatic. That's just the acting caliber that comes with Super Sentai, though. But the scientist really still cares about his robot daughter, even though he's pretty sure, it's not really his real daughter. And what's interesting is that the robot daughter begins to really love the real dad. And when he escapes with Misa, the daughter of the Sun Vulcan commander. They get away, and she keeps trying to say, no, forget about your robot daughter, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna do it, and all three of them tumble down this cliff. The daughter is clearly fake, but the other two are real people, and the stunt guy playing the scientist falling down the cliff just looked amazing, rolling down this enormous cliff. That was probably actually really freaking dangerous. But then it's kind of amazing. The daughter's like, well, she's dying now, and because she's a robot, Black Magma can control her, so she's got a gun, like, in her wrist, and they say, alright, now shoot him, because he's not, actually putting as much death into his poisonous ferns as we need him to, and she's like, no, I'm not gonna do it, and they're like, well, fine, we're gonna blow you up, and she's like, alright, bye, Dad, and she gets legitimately really sad, and she runs away, and she just goes, and just blows up, and it's actually really, like, it looks really funny, but the end result is really sad, because this dad has had to watch his daughter die in front of his eyes twice now, and Sun Vulcan watches it happen too, and they're like, oh, this is really unforgivable, this is a really mean thing to do, and so the vengeance in the episode is actually really, really good and really palpable, and it actually ends on a really somber note, with the scientist being like, well, she's gonna live on in my heart, and it's a really somber epilogue of the episode. It's pretty much the only one that does that. The episode with Diamondmonger is pretty good. Queen Hedrian is, like, obsessed with diamonds. If you'll remember from the previous season of Denjimon, she was just obsessed with physical beauty and does not understand human beings' inner beauty. So it makes sense that she's really obsessed with diamonds, and she tells her lackeys, go get me diamonds, and this diamond isn't good enough, and this diamond isn't good enough, and they create Diamondmonger, who unfortunately collects diamonds and then eats diamonds, and this seems like just a really bad monster to employ on this particular mission, but they do it anyway, and I don't understand why, but one particular diamond they want is this big old blue diamond, and there's a diamond broker named Shadow X, a really super original name there, guys, who's gonna sell them this big blue diamond for like billions and billions of yen, and he's got this eye patch, and he keeps the diamond in, like, his eye socket, and then hands it over to Queen Hedrion, and she's, like, thrilled with it, and I'm just like, that is really freaking disgusting. You jammed this diamond into your eye socket and kept it in there. I have to hope that maybe he had some other casing in his eye socket, surely that's what happened. And she wants to keep Diamondmonger from eating the diamond, so she doesn't even think. She's like, well, you're not gonna eat it, I'm gonna eat it. And then she swallows it and starts choking on it, and then when they get her to spit it back out, then Diamondmonger eats it, and so this thing is like 3 times disgusting, alright? It's been in this dude's eye socket, it's been in Queen Hedrion's throat, and then it's inside of Diamondmonger, and then they have to fight him and blow him up so that they can get the diamond back. It's a comical enough episode, but man, like, who wants to touch that diamond now? And episode 13 has Ironmonger, that's literally what his name is, but maybe don't confuse him for Marvel's Ironmonger, like, as in the first Iron Man movie villain Ironmonger. Like, don't do that. This is a completely different Ironmonger. Like, he starts off as a 4-ton black ball that looks like a bowling ball, and it has a mind of its own, and for some reason it really likes Misa after she touches it and says nice things to it, and it attacks police officers and stuff. I'm pretty sure all these police officers are dead, because it grows and expands to 2 or 3 times its original size, and then it weighs 8 tons, and it's attacking these police officers, and there's like no way that these police officers live after being hit with an 8-ton ball of iron and other deep-rooted earth minerals and stuff. So then the ball later on is summoned to the Black Magma headquarters, where Queen Hedrion has summoned it using her own crystal ball. Come here, Ironmonger! And then the monster comes out, and now he looks like a volcano, but the problem is that Ironmonger is like, well, I want to go back to that Misa person who was kind of nice to me, so he's not really doing a very good job of being too evil. He starts off being evil, but he still just wants to find Misa. But what I found really comical about that particular episode is that when Ironmonger goes back to the Black Magma headquarters, their secret base, that's when Sun Vulcan is like, alright, we gotta go seek out their secret base. And everyone in Black Magma's base is like, hey, don't worry about it, they can't find us, because the only way to find us and to see the secret base would be if they had an infrared camera. And sure enough, Sun Vulcan is like, darn, we can't see exactly where their base is because we don't have an infrared camera. And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. Of all the things that Sun Vulcan has and does not have, you're really gonna tell me nobody splurged on an infrared camera? Not on any of your mechs or robots or anything, any of your ships or anything? You've got, Vol Eagle's got his eagle eye see-through thing, and you're gonna tell me see-through can't see through the island to where the secret base is, or that it does not have infrared capabilities? That really does not make sense to me. You spent all this money on giant combining robots, and you couldn't buy an infrared camera. You're joking. And finally, episode 14 is easily the most comical episode thus far within this particular series. It features Armadillomonger, and it features a white dude from the UN coming from New York who's trying to do some peace talks or something, and clearly he's reading cue cards off to the side to make sure he's got his Japanese right, and he's clearly not being dubbed over by himself, he's being dubbed over by somebody else. But that's okay, he serves his purpose. He gets captured, thrown into the back of a truck, they're threatening to blow him up, and then the commander comes in, and he's like, I know, I'll dress up like the UN guy myself, and I'll trick them and say, you don't have the real UN guy, I'm the real UN guy, and that tricks them just long enough for them to be able to get him out. And the final battle involves fighting Armadillomonger, who, of course, he'll roll as an armadillo will do, but there's a lot of digging, and what I don't understand is they say, hey, Volpanther, use your mole digging ability to go underground and like save the UN guy from being trapped inside the exploding truck and get around these landmines and stuff and go after Armadillomonger, who's also digging in the ground, because yeah, Armadillo's digging the ground a little bit, but that's a thing that Volpanther can do, and like maybe I shouldn't be surprised, because for some reason Volpanther and Volshark can also fly. So Volpanther can fly, and he has the ability to dig like a mole, even though he's a panther that frequently uses footage of a cheetah rather than a panther. You know what? His character makes no sense to me. Makes no sense at all. So the final battle involves digging around in the dirt a whole bunch, and like they're using these stupid whack-a-mole gimmicks, both with the grunts, the henchmen in the ground, like seriously whack-a-mole style, and they're all going, whack, 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 and they're hitting them with their hands, and then there's these Scooby-Doo antics between Volpanther and Armadillomonger as they're coming up out of the wrong hole in the ground, and then they look the wrong way, and then, they see each other, and then they smack each other on the head, or they run away, and they're just shaking their fists at each other, until finally all three members of Sun Vulcan bring out squeaky hammers and start beating Armadillomonger over the head with squeaky hammers, and it's just easily the most comical episode to date thus far, and I'm sure there's going to be more to come, but this is what Super Sentai is, folks. There's so many really cool effects and really cool stunts, and then you remember it's a children's show where they do Scooby-Doo antics and hit people over the head with squeaky hammers. That's what Super Sentai is. So that's essentially it thus far, at least for these last 7 episodes, and I'm gonna be getting straight into the next 7 episodes and hopefully have another 1 or maybe another 2 episodes out this very same week. I would really like to start playing catch-up as quickly as humanly possible. It would make me very, very happy to do this, and I'm so happy to be watching Sentai again, so please be looking forward to more out of me. I'm looking forward to getting started on watching episode 15 right away, right as soon as I'm done getting this edited. And by the way, thank you, as always, to the Patreon contributors at patreon.com/MarsGirl who make shows like this and so many others able to happen, and if you would like for me to do a request review for you, I would love to do that for you also. Again, check out patreon.com/MarsGirl. Let me know what you'd like for me to review, and we can definitely get started. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll be seeing you next time.